Hello, and welcome to my future model railway. I've not made a model railway before, unless you count the test track in the corner down there. I've also never made a YouTube video before, so this will be quite the learning experience, which I'm hoping that whoever watches this can help me with. Talking of YouTube, I haven't yet thought of a channel name or even signed up for a YouTube account yet. But for reasons which may become apparent later, I'm thinking of calling it Dawn of the Diesels or Diesel Dawn or the name of the whatever I call the layout. But as I'm filming, I have no idea what I'm going to call it, the layout or the channel. So in a strange way, you know before I do because you're watching this right now, and right now I don't know. Let me give you some dimensions. So you know the sort of space that I'm playing with here. From this wall to the wardrobe is 2.3 meters, and from this wall to just before the door jamb here is 1.5 meters. And I'm willing to come into the room by about 0.5 meter, which is roughly the depth of that wardrobe there. Because it's such a small space, my options are going to be quite limited. So it's probably going to be one of two things. One is a shunting layout, which I'm not that interested in, or the other one is some sort of small sub shed or daily shed. Not too extensive, but something that can offer some sort of variety of locos coming in and out. The layout originally was going to be much longer, but I bought a new wardrobe, so that constrained my length quite a lot. But what you're looking at right now is going to be the scenic section, or the operating section, I should say. And over here is going to be the storage area. I'm thinking of maybe no more than about 10 or 11 locos, but obviously not all on scene at one time. But a choice of 10 or 11 locos to run into the shed, do what they need to do, and then park up or come straight out again. But that's my plan at the moment. I don't have a track plan yet. So if you have any ideas, I'd absolutely love to hear them. And excuse the state of the room at the moment. It's one of those rooms that all the junk and unwanted things get put into, waiting for a permanent place to store them. But that permanent place never seems to come. So here they all are. But I'll over time I'll get rid of all of this stuff, ready for the layout to appear. So I mentioned that the layout name could be something like Diesel Dawn or Dawn of the Diesels or something. And that's because the period that the layout's going to be set in is going to be late 50s or 1960 at the latest, which will give me all of the early diesels, and that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. So I've got some Bachmann Class 24s, which I'm going to backdate to Derby Type 2s, some Hornby Class 31s, which I shall backdate to the Merleys engined brush Type 2s. Plus I'll get some BTH Type 1s or Class 15s, and maybe Class 21s if I can find some cheap enough. But this is very much a layout on a budget, as you can see from the age of the models. But the part of the fun for me is going to be backdating these models to the earlier versions, and see what I can do to bring them to a better standard than they were produced. The overall aim of this project is not to produce a fully finished, fully scenic, complete layout, but it's to learn some skills with. So in that regard, it will have the track, obviously, and the baseboards, and some buildings, but I'm not going to bother to ballast it or decorate it with trees and bushes and so on. It will be pretty much bare bones, almost like a naked railway. Actually, that's not a bad idea for a channel name. I've been thinking about what I'm going to call this YouTube channel. That's not a bad idea, is it? It's the Naked Railway. Well, anyway, so it's going to have a storage area here, which will somehow hold my 10 or so locos, and they can in turn run over into the shed area. So I'm still thinking about the Naked Railway. It's quite clickbaity, but I quite like it now that I've said it. Yeah, give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, like I said, this is a layout is going to be very much done on a quite a tight budget, which explains the age of these loco models. They're a decade or more old, and I should be buying certainly more of the Class 31s. These are all the skinhead versions, but I shall get probably 3 or 4 of the headcode versions, plus 1 or 2 BTH type 1s, and that will probably be it, because in the era that I'm planning this layout on, although the MBL type 2s were around, they were mostly, in East Anglia at least, they're mostly being stored up to send off to Scotland, so they'll just be hanging around doing nothing, and I don't want to really spend money on models that don't do anything. So that's the plan. Let me just I'll take you off to my whiteboard and I'll give you a very basic schematic of the layout as I see it. So, well, let me take you over. So, if you imagine this as our scenic area, for want of a better phrase, the main purpose of the shed is to refuel the locos. So this is purely a schematic, not a layout diagram. So we need a fuel road, or at least one fuel road, and if we have, I'd like at least 2 fuel roads, so I can fuel 2 locos at a time. And if we have fuel pumps, then we're going to need a fuel storage area with a pump house. So we've got a minimum of 3 sidings to start with. And as this is a small servicing shed, a sub shed, or a daily shed, we could But inspections will be done. Some inspections will be done at the refueling point. But for any servicing, we're going to need a covered area, so possibly a servicing shed. And then at the end of loco duties, we'll need at least one, but possibly two storage sidings. So that's our absolute minimum requirement. Oh, of course, and the way in. So they are our minimum requirements for our layout. So there you have it. Pretty basic, but quite interesting, I think. And the main focus will not necessarily be the layout itself, but well, not just the layout, but it'll also be both backdating the models to the pilot scheme era and also bringing them up to modern standards, which I think will be quite an interesting challenge. Yeah, so if you have any ideas about track plans, how to organize the storage area to fit 10 or so locos in that can be chosen at any time to run into the shed area, then I'd be really interested to hear them. I know everyone says like and subscribe and leave a comment. You can do that if you like, but I'm certainly not going to force you to. But I would like to hear if you've got any ideas, and also if you know anyone who may be interested in this or could give some advice, then share it with them. Okay, I'll see you next time, and by then I should have some track plan ideas and possibly the beginnings of a baseboard for this area. But I shall see you then.